Today I would love to share with you some of my favorite summer eyeshadow palettes. And I'm even going to show you how I got the look that I have on today. Stay tuned. Welcome, friends. It's the first day of summer. Here in Florida, we know how to do summer right, including makeup. So today I wanted to share with you some of my favorite summer eyeshadow palettes. So let's get right into it. The first palette I would like to share is the Natasha Denona Bronze Palette. So when I was growing up here in Florida, from spring break all the way through to the start of school in September, the main focus was getting a tan. And so I remember going to the beach, and I remember seeing people of all different shades of tans on the beach. So when I think of summer, I think of bronze, I think of tan. And this Natasha Denona Bronze Palette really says it all. So this is my first summer eyeshadow palette. Next, we are going to stay with Natasha Denona. And the next palette that I'm going to share with you is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. So one of the things that Florida is famous for is Key West sunsets. And I believe that this eyeshadow palette embodies a Key West sunset. Yellows, pinks, purples, reds, browns. I feel like this is going to be beautiful on the eyes this summer. Whenever it's summer here in Florida, we have so many beautiful flowers, pinks, blues, reds, yellows. And so some of the pink and purple shades in the Love palette by Natasha Denona are going to be really wonderful this summer to use. So this red right here, it reminds me of the red roses and azaleas that we have here in Florida. And then we have some purples and we have some beautiful duochromes, and even some kind of more carnation pink colors. So when I want kind of pinks and purples, this is going to be my go-to palette. Finally, the palette that I have on my eyes today is brand new. This is the Natasha Denona Yucca, I'm going to cover it all palette. So this is my second time using this Natasha Denona palette. I feel really inspired by this palette. So the first shade that I used is this really bright, almost neon yellow shade called Camu Camu. And I used this from the inner corner of my eye all the way up about halfway through my upper eyelid. Then I took this other little bit darker, murkier green, and I met that from the outer eyelid over to the Camu Camu shade. I also deepened up the outer corner with Willow, which is a nice matte shade, and I took that below my eye just a little bit, just to give a little depth to the outside. So then I wanted some massive sparkle. So the first shade that I used for sparkle is this one, and this one is called Macchia. I used this a little bit over the dark teal shade, and then I blended it towards the middle. And then towards the middle and going to the center of my eye, I used Kamarabi, which is this color right here. So this is going to be a beautiful summer look because here in Florida, we love our palm trees, we love our green shades, and so I had to include this one. So, I wanted to include also the eyeliners that I used. Natasha Denona did release some eyeliners, so I found some that were almost identical to the ones that she released. So this is a NYX and the other one is LA Girl. And so these are some eyeliners. I put this in my lower waterline. I use this on the top line and to tight line right here. So that's my eye look for today. Let's continue with our summer eyeshadow collection vibe. I pulled two palettes from Too Faced. The first is the Born This Way palette. When I thought of like the different tones of skin that I see on the beach, we have tourists who are fair, who are working on their tan. And then we have beach bums who literally like live and surf on the beach, and they're what we call brown as a berry. And I just thought every shade of skin was represented in this palette. And also I love these shimmer shades here. I think that they're really going to be pretty this summer. And I could not pass up Too Faced Sunset Stripped. I mean, just the very name of this palette. And I just feel like this gives us the beautiful bronzy shades again, the warm toned browns and beiges and nudes that I really, really loved to pair with a gorgeous deep tan. My sister and I, and my mom and I, when we were younger, we would sit in the lawn chairs with the baby oil and the sprinkler and the radio, and we would just tan all day long. And that was so much fun. And so the bronzy shades bring back those memories for me. Pat McGrath is next, and this is her brand, well, yeah, almost brand new quad. And this is the bronze quad, and I've used this a couple of times. And one of the things that I love about the beach is the sand, the glistening sand, and the sparkles that are in the sand. And I feel like these bronzy colors combined with these shimmers just give me that beachy kind of vibe. Pat McGrath also has this bronzy kind of palette, and I like this because it has this really particularly warm color that you can really make nice and toasty and heated on the eye, and the shimmers in this palette are beautiful as well. I pulled two motherships for this video, and the first one is Utopian Dream, and I just feel like this is a sunset in a palette. So let me open this. I'm trying to open it wrong. So this is Utopian Dream, and you have some of your really warm colors here. These special shades over here, to me, they just feel like summer nightlife here in Florida. You have the theme parks, you have all of the clubs, you have all of the nightlife here in Florida. There's just endless things to do. And I feel like this just really embodies that part of summer. The next Pat McGrath Mothership palette that I chose is Bronze Seduction, and I think you're going to see exactly why I chose that one. Anything that's bronzy in the summertime is something I'm going for. So again, we have a lot of bronze colors, but look at these colors right here. You can really heat up a look with these colors, especially at night. I can just see these glistening on the eyes when you're out, maybe on the water at night, or you're out on a patio with some friends at night. I think that these colors would be beautiful. So those are my Pat McGrath Labs eyeshadow palettes that I decided that I wanted to pull to use this summer. Another more basic everyday summer palette that I thought of is this one from Odin's Eye. So this one, I really love this particular color right here. I feel like it's really, really warm, but it's not totally dramatic. So no, this is not Odin's Eye. I'm sorry. This is M Cosmetics. I'm thinking of ordering the new Odin's Eye palettes. I've got that on my brain. And this is Divine Skies. And this is also, I feel like, a really good palette for vacation because it's really tiny. And I wanted to put some pops of color in. So I wanted to try to find some little different colors, and so I thought of the Nabla Secret palette. And so here you have some pinks and you have some blues along with your neutrals so that you can bring a little bit more of a colorful look. So this made me think of like the different color bathing suits on the beach and the different colors of the kites and the windsurfers and all of those kinds of things here in Florida. And I wanted a neutral but really shimmery palette that I could do a lot with, so I chose Lunar Beauty. This is the Nude Prism palette. So you can go with a really light everyday look if you don't want to wear a whole bunch of makeup and not a lot of heavy makeup, just a color in the crease and then something on the eyelid. So I hope that you guys, have one or more of these palettes, and maybe this will help you to bring them out. So whenever I think of Florida, I think of shimmery sands and I think of glistening water. So I think of a lot of sparkle, and these are Flower Beauty Desert and Jungle Lights palettes. They're all shimmer palettes. And this is like putting liquid metal on your eyes. And so it just reminds me of just the shimmering sands and the glistening waters. And this would make a great complement with just a bronzer in the crease if you're on the go. I wanted to pull some small, more affordable palettes as well that you all might have. And so I wanted some orange options because Florida, we're known for our orange juice. We're known as the Sunshine State. So I had to find some orange palettes. This one is from Wet n Wild, and I just don't think you can get any more orangey than this. These are orangey, but they're flattering orange colors. They're not neon, they're not unapproachable. And the shimmers that are in this Wet n Wild palette are also beautiful, and this is so affordable. Two other orange themed palettes are from Essence. So this is the Essence Bronzed palette. And you can do more of the reddish bronzes or more of the browns. And again, this is more subtle, more everyday, but it feels like summer to me. And the last orange palette is the Coral Me Maybe palette. And so this are your more brighter colors with a pop of coral and peach, because coral and peach lipsticks and blushes are totally my thing during the summer. So this would go well with those. Ulta Beauty has a couple of quads, and obviously in the summer we have palm trees, we have oak trees, we have Spanish moss, tons of foliage, lots of greenery, and so I have loved these green shades in this Ulta quad. Two other greeny kind of palettes. One is e.l.f. This is Jalapeno, and obviously these are just beautiful summer greens with the pop of yellow here, which reminds you of the sunshine. I guess I'm being very literal today. And lastly, I have another Wet n Wild palette. And this is a combination of kind of more gold greens, one murky green, and just different tones of greens. Now, if you really want something totally colorful and you want to go with all of your pinks and yellows and greens and blues and all of that, this palette right here, the Spice palette from Bethlehem, you can get this on Amazon for so inexpensive. So I pulled this for my spring palettes, excuse me, but also I think it would look great for summer. So for spring, I was really focused on these upper two rows here. For summer, you're getting into your darker blues, purples, pinks, oranges, yellows, and greens. Your quintessential rainbow palette if you want to add a splash of color to any look. Those are my summer eyeshadow looks. That's what I think of when I think of summer here in Florida. And I hope that you had one of these palettes, and I hope that you say, yes, I want to pull that one out. I want to use it this summer. Of course, I believe that you can use any palette any time of the year. However, this just reminded me of summer and I wanted to share it. I hope you enjoyed this eye look today. I'm really enjoying the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. And so if you got that, I hope this inspires you to keep it on your vanity and continue playing with that, because the color combinations, the eye looks are endless, I believe, with this palette. And so far, this is, I think, my favorite look. So thank you so much. If you like these kinds of videos, please subscribe. Please like this video so that my family can continue to grow. And I thank you so much for spending your precious time with me. I really appreciate it. And always, if you have suggestions, please leave those in the comment section. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.